Hi, I'm Exis, and this is Victoria 3, where we're playing as Prussia into Germany. And we're soon getting to the point where we're gonna start to integrate all of these small states. You can see here that there's some turmoil in Hamburg and in Bremen. Don't really know why it would be in Bremen, but Hamburg has no port, so they're probably a little bit of a pickle as it goes to importing and producing goods. That's probably the same thing in Bremen. No, we don't want to be in there. Well, we do have some decisions we could do now. We can do the Congo and Niger River expeditions. This will give us some prestige or something like that if we complete them. Our colony down here is growing fast now that we have research quinine and done the first one. We are building some dye plantations down here. We have some movements here to enact a dedicated police force, and the industrialists want to preserve having a no healthcare over having a charity hospitals. Seems stupid, but that's the way they are. We, however, want to probably, yeah, no, they have been good enough. And they are powerful, that's important. But I think we'd like to get them up happy again. And why are they not? They probably lost some kind of law modifier that we had that they liked. There's nothing here where we could. Local police force is an easy way to boost their political strength a little bit. Why? Appointed bureaucrats, okay. Oh, this is fine for now. But let's unpause there and we can check. Yeah, we still got high tensions with Iglo. And we are importing iron from Sweden that is unproductive. Let's get rid of that one. Well, if we check here on what our population wants to import, it's liquor, and it's a grain. We're working on the grain problem. Fabric, we're working on the fabric problem. We're working on the wood problem. Groceries, we need to build more food factories for this. And glass, which we're not going to do anything about glass until we have Saxony in our hold. No, Saxony is already in our hold, so maybe we do need to go for that anyway. And there's a good, if we just check it here, Saxony has a level 5 glassworks, and we've got a level 3 one in Brandenburg. Would be better to use the Saxony one in a little bit to increase the glass production. Now what the lead mine's doing. Lead is way too cheap. How much? 73 going down. That would lead us to a shortage instead, and we don't want that either. That wouldn't help in this case. And we want to see if we can see, we were building rye farms here, and all of these are just for grain. So we kind of want to, and food factories. Well, we can probably do too. There's so many buy orders here. The pops are just demanding more liquor. That's probably, if we switch over to sweeteners, we can get more groceries at least. Why do the groceries become more expensive when we do that? That is weird. Because we are probably we get more consumption as they increase as well. We don't have the sugar in our own country yet, though. We have a very delicate balance of sugar at the moment. These rye farms are producing liquor. We need so much more of it. It's maybe we need to, if we decrease the amount here, how many of them are we currently building on? So if we remove 5 of them from there, and we go to Anhalt, and we will add them in here where they are potatoes instead. And we need lots of both of them. So we'll add these 5 in here. Probably need to add them a little bit higher up though. And let's get those dye plantations up a little bit too. That's fine. That should help them out just a little bit. Are we still taxing liquor? Maybe we could. That's probably good because consumption is going to go up even more if we stop taxing it. Okay, so the price of steel went down and the price of sulfur went up. We still have a deficit of sulfur. Explosives, however, we needed to increase our production of. I think we got our chemical factories over here in Westphalia. We only got 3 infrastructure here. And I think the chemical plant is 3. Yeah. And we don't have the access to ammonia soda process just yet. How many explosives are we missing? Just 20. Which would be 1 level of chemical plant, but then that means we're making way too much fertilizer. We're better off trying to import some explosives. We can get 8 from the French. Okay, well let's import the French explosives. The price of iron is expensive, but we are expanding the iron mines. Let's check down here again on how we are doing. We are uneasy. Where are we expanding to at the moment? Up north. You might want to pause this process for a little bit. Okay, so we got the language in the classroom here. It's in Brandenburg. This is not something to do with the charity hospitals. This is, we've got Polish pops. How many Polish pops do we have? We have 2 million Polish pops. And 10% of them get more radical. That's 200,000. That's a lot of them. And we would get a little bit more assimilation from them. But more radicals from discrimination. I think we've got plenty of radicals from discrimination already. Oh, only 10,000. Or we make both the church and the petit bourgeois upset. I don't really want the church to be more upset because that will mean losing our birth rate multiplier, which is actually causing our population to increase. So the school's gonna teach them German, I guess. Okay, we'll see if this helps anything with the... Probably won't. We won't do a lot because it's such a big shortage. How we're doing for the grains are still. We really need more food factories, I think. Oh, we do need to bring the fertilizer use up a bit more, I guess. And this is going to bring us in 3 more. That's 15 per piece, 4 to 5 more. That's not even 10% of the deficit we have. Why are there so many clergymen? Due to soil-enriched farming. Interesting. Alright then. That doesn't really help us to go up to using tools here either. They are profitable enough, as both grain and liquor is so expensive. And we probably do want to make some kind of drive towards this. It might be better to increase the food industries. Upgrading to pot stills would be good. That's an extra 40 liquor per. I can probably increase this one up to 10, I guess. That'll bring us in. Yeah, let's do a massive expansion here of our food industries. This will require more sugar. Where are we getting our sugar from? Oh, that's fish. Our sugar is coming from trade routes. Well, that's okay. It's someone else's trade routes, I think. And the iron is coming from our iron mines. We are still at a huge deficit of iron. Oh yeah, we're building more mines, so that's fine. Let's see what happens here with our hospitals. Hopefully they will be able to at least progress, but let's see here. We can think we've improved relations with everyone we need to have improved relations with. Luxembourg. I wonder if Luxembourg is included in this nation formation. Because I don't think it is. I think Luxembourg always was its own thing. It looks like it here too. Yeah, so we got Alsace-Lorraine in this list, but we don't have Luxembourg. So we don't need to worry about Luxembourg too much. And we are improving relations with the British and the Russians. We probably want to improve relations down here as well with the... Let's take 2 Sicilies. And maybe Sardinia, Piedmont as well. I don't really know who's going to be forming up Italy. But it's usually two Sicilies or 2 Sicilies that does that. But it could be Sardinia, Piedmont as well. Okay, so... Yeah, this is not really going our way, is it? That's expensive. We can afford it though. Yeah. So we'll let it run for a session or more here. Industrialists are so powerful there. Even though we're bolstering up the church, we're not getting this through. Yeah, we need more clergymen, I guess. And we seem to get those from the farms, so... Okay, so we've unlocked nationalism. This means that all these small states will now start to join ranks with us, which is really good. To try and solve our liquor problem, I think we need to go for fractional distillation in the productions tab. This will allow patent stills, which double up the amount of liquor produced in the food factories. And here we go. So we have the Iron Chancellor. A nobleman named Otto von Bismarck has risen to a prominent position among Prussian Junkers, advocating for German national unity and political pragmatism. He offers his services to the state. Well, of course we're gonna appoint Bismarck as Chancellor, right? What would the option be? Damage, relation speed, and popularity? No. As Bismarck has been favored, 75% popularity, and more importantly, 20% infamy decay. Now, to get this, the Junkers need to be above 20%. You need to have unlocked nationalism, the tech we just unlocked. And actually I think that's oh yeah, and it has to be before like 1891 or something, when he was when he died. So this should put him in charge of the Junkers here, which is nice. And he is a royalist, so he endorses monarchy. He is also cautious. Character health is good in this case, so hopefully we won't lose him anytime soon. Direct, more popularity, and interest group puppet attraction, but some less political strength. I could have gotten a lot worse traits. I think this is good. So we have Otto von Bismarck in place here now to unify Germany, and let's start with Saxe-Meiningen. Saxe-Meiningen is one of these down here. So we're getting a textile mill and a tooling workshop, a coal mine, an iron mine, some livestock ranches, and 2 barracks. Yeah, we can see that for every one we start to integrate, we will gain this infamy where we need to burn off. So one step closer to unification. And now if we look, we have started to gain some infamy. We've also got... Where did we get all the other infamy from? And to be able to integrate these states, you can integrate one every 4 months or something like that. And your infamy has to be below 25 for it to fire. And you have to have amenable relations with them. So I need to be at, what's this, plus 80? No, plus above 50% relations. And normally this is just keep them in the customs union, and that's fine. Now we need to, they also need to be in your customs union. So we've got a few here that we need to bring into our customs union. And for us to be able to bring them in, we probably need to start bankrolling them and forcing them in. We do need to start using our influence a little bit better though. So we are improving relations with the French and the British, and we probably need to keep these. Yeah, we probably want to keep those as well. What more do we have that's using up all our influence? As we integrate them, of course the customs union part of it, the equation disappears. Yeah, because Russia and Great Britain are great powers, they cost a lot to improve relations. We apparently have a trade agreement with Sweden too. But they think they only reduces our relations by 10%. Yeah, well, we'll keep the trade agreement with them for now. we might need to be importing more from them in a bit. And let's check down here on our colony again. I think the Igbo are, yeah, they're not happy with us, so let's come down here and we will just pause this for a bit. And we'll see if this will have to kind of tick down a little bit so we don't get a war down here. Because if we get a war down here, we get loads of infamy from that war, which will take a long time to burn off. Okay, so the Junkers fell below 20%, which reduces the aristocrats' investments into the investment pool, which is bad for us. Yeah, we don't want to have these defensive pacts. So it's gonna take a while for this to tick down. But as is everyone else, they also need to kind of pause up in their colonialism. Or fight the wars. Okay, so we got something happening down here in Bavaria. It's actually in Switzerland. And we got the Swiss peasant revolt, and they are mobilizing. Anyone going in? Austria, Hanover, Sardinia, and the Ottomans are all kind of on the fence of going in on the side of the Swiss. They should make short work of the revolt there then. Some turmoil in Frankfurt as well. It's quite fitting because there were quite widespread riots or demonstrations around the 40s in the German territories and in the Austrian territories for liberalizing and bringing democracy in. And I believe Germany had some kind of parliamentary council based in Frankfurt that was disbanded sometime around this point. These two garrison divisions were the ones we got from Saxe-Meiningen when we grabbed them, and probably we want to have them in. Should be able to have 60. Do we have? Are they part of a different HQ maybe? They are in Prussian Saxony. Well, they should belong to the North German HQ. Okay, so here we have a great molasses flood. Well, it doesn't sound good. A storage tank full to the brim with molasses intended for rum distillation has burst, flooding the streets of Posen's commercial sector, killing dozens and injuring hundreds of bystanders. For 5 years we get a 50% throughput, and this is a good reason to decentralize your production, of course. I think we just have to take the hit to radicals. Reducing our liquor production of 50% would not be good. For 5 years, that's a long time. So it's a tragedy, but things happen. Okay, so Lippe wants to confederate with us. They are unifying. And this will give us yet another 3.3 infamy. And we are 19, so that's fine. Now we want to say yes to all of these. If we say no, it takes another 5 years until they can ask again. And they won't be asking if we don't have it. If we don't have the infamy to support it. Or they will only ask us if we have the less than 25 infamy. Okay, so from that we probably, the tooling workshop here is something that we gained. Probably an iron mine and some rye farms. Now all of these resources were already in our market, so that doesn't change anything, but the infrastructure here did change. We still got 2 pages of backlog here in our construction queue. So I think we need to go back and put our road maintenance decree in Westphalia. And now we can see we got multiple of these in. And now we're starting to get a bunch of excess infamy again from probably from completing. No, I thought, yeah, whichever way we got more in the. Oh, the junkers are above 20% again, so we gained the 10% back again, which is good for our infamy decay. And I'm thinking the Igbo are still gonna be pissed at us for a while longer. And it looks like hamburger, and there's a hamburger peasant revolt. There seems to be a lot of revolts going in this game at the moment. And this one it's centered on my territory, but it's in Hamburg. Yeah, we are leaning towards Hamburg. If they offer us an... Unfortunately, we can't say that if you give us an obligation, we will join. You can just join in. But sometimes they ask us to join in on their side, and they will give us something for it. And maybe it is time to start with these smaller ones. To start putting some money into them. We want to get... No, not the Hamburgian peasant revolt. I want to talk to... We'll actually wait until Hamburg is done there, I think. We'll start with Bremen and Oldenburg as well. This is a tiny amount of money. Hanover we probably want one on as well. It's a little bit more of a stable nation. But this would cost us... Yeah, we can afford this. And we'll see, Hamburg should be able to deal with this. Now we got another one. So it's a confederation with the Schaumburg-Lippe up here. And they have a steel mill. This is actually really big. Because I think it gets merged into Westphalia. So one step closer to unification. And indeed it does. So now we have yet another level on our steel mill here. Now we aren't really using all the steel that we are getting. But steel is an important part, especially once we start constructing with steel. Now we can see that we are now bankrolling these 4 nations here. And we got a 5th one that we want, as soon as this revolt is over, would take the winning side. And this is because we need to wrest them out of the British market, of course. Actually, the British have already given them up. But I don't think they will just... they won't... No, they don't seem to... They must still be in the... Oh, they're in one... Yeah, they're just in the Hanoverian market at the moment. So we want to wrest them out of the Hanoverian market, of course. And here's something fun, because there's a war going in Hamburg between the revolters and the main state. There's actually been devastation that's going to affect the entire state of... I think this is... what's it called? Okay, so we unlocked crystal glass. This is good. Chemical bleaching. Now if we look here, we can see what the state is called, I think. Elbe. This is all part of the Elbe. Just like Lübeck is part of Schleswig-Holstein. And everything up there, of course. Alright, so we unlocked the glass. That's a production method for our glassworks. To produce crystal glass, we use less wood but more lead. And if we get rid of that, you can see that we have too much lead on the market at the moment. And we have too little wood on the market at the moment. We have a decent equilibrium of dyes. Could do with one more. And we have a shortage of glass. So going up to crystal glass is good all around. We fill our deficit of 80 glass. The reduction in wood won't really do a lot. And the increased need for lead is going to be very helpful for our lead mines. So we'll do a straight up switch there. This will also make it employ more higher paying or better qualified workers. So this should have helped stabilize the price of glass a little bit once the employment has fully filled out. And it removed wood, all wood from the construction here altogether. Okay, so we have a confederation with Frankfurt. And we will take this, of course. And I think now we are starting to get... Yeah, we're at 24.8. So we are starting to get high infamy. Now, Frankfurt has a little bit of a problem with turmoil. They are right on the infrastructure though, and that's good enough. We do have the little bit of authority. Maybe... no, we can't. That costs 100. But we might need to get one of these off then. If we were to take this one off Silesia. That's the... and then we can add... sounds bad, but violent suppression to Frankfurt, just to try and bring that turmoil down. Later on we want to have... our explosives trade route is no longer profitable. Market access in Silesia is at 98. And Prussian Hesse, that's Frankfurt, is in turmoil. That's why we want to reduce that. So Silesia has reached its infrastructure cap. Which means we probably want to put... no, we can't put the... because it costs 100 there too. So we really don't want to need to start building the railways just yet. And let's put road maintenance in there for now. Now we're gonna have to take the plunge and start building these railways soon, I think. I probably need some more fisheries as well. It's a good time as any to help urbanize Pomerania a little bit. So we need 150 fish, we produce 150 on 3. Let's add them to the queue. And we're gonna need to have some motor works. Got 250, and we got a fair amount of population down here too. So let's add the motor industry. Now this one requires steel, and it'll make engines. And that's kind of the prerequisite to start making trains. Right after that we will go back to Westphalia and we will add our first railway here. Because we know this is a province where we need infrastructure, and we will do the same thing here in Silesia. Railways are subsidized from the start. Otherwise they're very unprofitable once you start operating. It takes a long time for the demand for transportation to increase to such a level that they are sustainable. Most other industries don't have any bigger problems with it. Industrial barriers. So factories in East Prussia are refusing to hire Polish people. That is a problem since there's loads of Polish people living in Prussia. So we don't really want to have -1 standard of living for those 2 million Poles. It's just those living in East Prussia though. There's not 2 million of them here. Maybe we can see if we do know. Sometimes if you hover over the tooltips you get lots of them. The petite bourgeois, we don't really care too much about. We just want to see that they aren't too angry already. They're at +3. So I mean the bureaucracy is nice, but we really don't want to get into xenophobia. The -10 influence is really hurtful where we are currently in the game. Since we want to have the excess infamy or excess influence for infamy decay, we will take the hit to the petite bourgeois. Yeah, these charity hospitals don't seem to be doing very well. Okay, so Saxe-Weimar down here, they also want to join us now. That's another steel mill. And they've already been putting steel onto the market, of course. There's some extra coal and iron mines. And these will be integrated into the same territory as Prussian Saxony and the rest here, of course. So one step closer to unification. And if we want to check here again. And we could go, if we check here on cultures, we can see kind of which ones are the ones that are causing all the turmoil. So we got the Bolognian Catholics in, they're probably up here on the west side. They're causing quite a lot of turmoil. And then we got the Poles and the Czech and the Ashkenazi. I thought I sorted it by... yeah. That's probably because there are a lot of them. Catholic South Germans and the Protestant North Germans. This is our own culture. You can see by the star here that they are accepted cultures. So this culture is not discriminated against, but their religion is, I believe. Now we've got freedom of conscience, it should be fine. And the political strength, of course, lies with the North Germans. And here we go. So Brunswick now owes us a obligation. That means we can go into Brunswick here and interactions. Could absolve it. That will give us 30 relations with them. And we've got 53 at the moment. That will bring us up to 80. They don't want to be in our customs union, but we can go in here, and once we have enough, I think the obligation is worth maybe 50 or something. But we will be using this to get them into our customs union in a bit. We'll keep putting some money into them though, because it increases our relations with them. It does look like we have lost lots of influence somehow. Which of course is very bad. So our influence cost, because our infamy has gone up, the influence cost of all of these actions has gone up too. Our infamy is now infamous. It'll very soon tick down. We don't have any radicals from conquest, so I don't think this counts as conquest. But nevertheless. Now we can't see. Oh, we keep this this going up then. So at the moment we have too much infamy for anyone to join us, and we are letting it cool off a bit down there. Yeah, and Saxony is also too low of infrastructure. This will sort itself out probably when we integrate Saxony and Schwarzburg and Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Talking about Saxony, they do want to join us. And Saxony is quite a big nation. But it still is only 3.6 infamy. one step closer to unification. So we just ticked down under 25 and they wanted to join up. I think, however, we need to cancel off our improved relations with the Russians. Just to get into the positive again. These battalions in reserve are standing, they're probably all in... Yeah, they're in both, they should be in the... Maybe they belong to the Rhine. We've got 7 in reserve here. So they're all in the North German. That means we can... He's an industrialist. And the other general we have here is... It's our king, Frederick Wilhelm von Hohenzollern. And he is the king of Prussia and cannot be promoted beyond commander-in-chief. I think we'll promote Mr. Helmut von Moltke, I think is pronounced. Yeah, this isn't looking good. But it keeps the Evangelical Church happy and gives us the birth rate boost. Most of our population increase here will of course come from integrating territories now. So now we've got Saxony, and Saxony's got a quite big big industry. And they're already using, no, they're using leaded glass. If we were to use crystal glass here, we will be running a shortage of lead. But that's a shortage we can quite easily build our way out of. Okay, so we unlocked fractional distillation. This is also a very good one. I will immediately make sure to make use of it. Now it produces a little bit less groceries, but or a little bit of glass and a little bit of liquor, or a lot of liquor. And it's won't really help that much, but it brought it down half the price excess over the base price, and that's good. And once we get these, now we're producing 500, so once these 5 extra food industries are completed, we'll be in a lot better place for liquor. And it'll also cover up the groceries just about. I probably need a little bit more. Can add another 2. Lead, however, we ran into a problem because now we've got a huge deficit here. Don't have any better ways to produce lead, so we just need to brute force it and build more. We get the 200 from... So we probably want to increase this by... No. I want to keep alt here, because we want to put this at the top of the construction queue. And we have no active research, because fractional distillation was the one we were doing. Now we probably want to settle for these. We have the Bessemer process for the steel mills, nitroglycerin for the mines, which will require us to build up our explosives a lot more, and the water tube boiler for actually quite a lot of different industries. It reduces the amount of laborers needed. Chemical bleaching is good for our paper mills. And let's have a look at our market and see what we really need at the moment. So, clothes aren't that bad. Furniture is doing okay. Probably want to switch some of our furniture over to not be producing any luxury furniture and just produce ordinary furniture to level the prices out a bit. And we don't need any more paper at the moment. We will be needing more paper in a bit. So we can probably go for the Bessemer process to prepare for increasing our steel production once we switch over to steel buildings. Or the baking powder could be very powerful as well, actually. We should probably be switching up to sweeteners. And that means we need to do something with our farms to increase sugar production. We need to switch more of them over to apple orchards. This should be possible to do as well. Technology we were talking about. I think, where do we get the... No, they're under society, I think. That steel frame buildings are still a little bit of a way away. Cash reserves, we don't really... At the moment, labor movements, no. Prestige, no. That 10% influence, we are getting this by spread though. Four to 6 months. And getting that extra influence would be nice. We will go for psychiatry, and it'll go all that much quicker once we put our own weight into researching it as well. And these should start finishing up now. No, they just bumped up to the next level, I guess. It looks like Hamburg has completed here too. So we will start pushing some money in there as well. Russians have signed a peace treaty with the Kazakhs, which means it looks like they've done a deal here. How are we doing for relations here? Yeah, we haven't got an obligation from them yet. The same thing there. Only one we've gotten one from is Brunswick. And I don't think they are happy enough to accept our obligation yet. Yeah, the obligation is worth 50. So we need to be all the way up at 80 probably. We'll be there soon enough. And if we get Hanover in, it all kind of falls out. Our obligation isn't worth anything to them. But we will get one from them. Sooner or later. It's a 1% chance every week, so... Yeah, that's the... Okay, so now we have... Looks like we lost the Junkers support somehow. Why are you unhappy? That's the political strength, or just the radicals. We've got too many radicals in the country. And a lot of them are from political movements. These are kind of just building up slowly. We'll check what happens here once this one goes through. Why are man of wars expensive? They shouldn't be. We should be producing our own now, right? No, the shipyard isn't done yet. They're 30 weeks out. But shouldn't our... That was weird. Yeah, the shipyard first. Oh, they're going to take 14 weeks to build, yeah. And then they're going to sort themselves out. The 17th of December we're waiting for. So we might need to get rid of this one. Just might need to enact some police force or something to reduce the radicalization. It's mostly from political movement demands. Okay, who broke this trade agreement? Oh, Sweden broke it off. Good, good. Some rivalries. And we have, this is the Great King. Okay. British. It doesn't say what they are giving us. Yes, they offer to owe us an obligation if we back them in the ongoing diplomatic play against Great King. So they want to open up the King borders, I guess. They don't have a lot of mobilized battalions. And they're not looking for opening up the market either. Don't know if we want to take a side here actually. Because they need to go in and they need to beat them up a little bit. And they do have all the dominions, but all of them has not a lot of mobilized battalions. And they do have the fleet though. We don't have to get involved at all in this, of course, but we could back them for this obligation, which means we could call Britain into one of our wars if need be, or sway them away from an opposing side. So it might be worth it just to jump in on their side. We won't do anything. So we will support them, and maybe China will back down when they see that we've got another 170 battalions. So Hesse joins us now, one step closer to unification, and we're back in bad prestige territory. Let's see, who are we? Yeah, let's break off the improved relations with Sardinia Piedmont. I think Two Sicilies is doing better on down there. Alright, so we finished psychiatry, that increases our influence, this is good. And bureaucracy cost per population. If we just let it run for a bit, this should tick in the next week. Maybe not. Yeah, we got the 10% there already. It helps out with the infamy decay, of course. I think that's just prestige. Yeah, prestige is our ranking, which of course ties into different things, especially how other nations see us, how powerful they see us. It's almost time to start going for these kind of things too. We will do a little bit more for production, I think. Now, this is 7 years if we want to go before we've done the level 2 things. We will be getting water tube boiler from spread. Baking powder will require more sugar. We want to look into that with the those plants. Let's get the Bessemer process. I think that's a good step forward. And why do we have lots of turmoil here? I think we need to... Okay, so the king has intervened in the political process here. Let's first just do some violence suppression in Posen. No, we're not allowed to. Well then. Oh, it disappeared, that's why. That was the... Yeah, now they're not surrounded anymore, so now they should be fine here. Maybe we can remove the decree there too then. It looks like it's removed itself. That's where the excess authority came from. Okay, so the king has intervened. The king has taken personal interest in the ongoing debate concerning charity hospitals and resolved to use his royal prerogative to ensure that the law passes. So we can get a 20% enactment success chance, which would be good. We really need to get this law out of the way. At least we're up to 29%. We've had really bad luck with this one, but it is hurting our economy quite a lot. Let's get rid of all of these and let's check down with the Igbo again. Right, it's still at 91. Now we probably want to keep cool here a little bit further. How are we doing for dye back home? Well, not enough to build another one here. That just dump the prices down. And let's get rid of the decrees there. And on pause. Now we've got some fisheries queued up. We need to do something about this sugar shortage. And we've got a wine shortage now too. The wine one is quite easy. We've got wheat farms down here. And wheat farms are vineyards for whatever reason. And we need loads more wine. We're producing 10 per vineyard at the moment. And it won't help to do that either. Which means we need 17 more wheat farms. Well, we do need a lot more wheat as well, so it wouldn't be that bad. Okay, so the king did not back down. And it's us and the UK. And they will do what they need to do, right? There's a monument to the king. So a statue of King Frederick Wilhelm von Hohenzollern was commissioned, and it has been suggested that it be displayed proudly in Westphalia. And we can gain some prestige. Or the evangelical church can lose some power. We don't want them to lose that, because then we lose our birth rate, and that one's really powerful. So let's take some more radical pops then. August von der Heit of the industrialists has died. Okay, and now we got our obligation from the UK. We want to check here. Who do we have? We got George Distel instead. He is reckless. And that means -2 opposition interest group approval. He doesn't have any particular stances himself. Now we're going to be able to fix this upper railroad soon enough. And Bosen is in turmoil. We can check here on the population and try to see why these pops are in turmoil. And maybe on the information is better. Uh, 20% radicals from discrimination, that's an... It's a little bit hard to see exactly why people are being radical. It's probably the same thing as here. They don't like the political movement. There's turmoil, and maybe we can enact some violent suppression here then. Just to get rid of that turmoil. Now we'll see what happens here. We don't need to do that much, it'll end in whichever way it ends. Okay, so the intelligentsia are not happy, and the rural folk are not happy. Only the church is happy. Because we are trying to enact their law, of course. And we've been at it for quite some time. Law enforcement here. We might want to up the level of law enforcement. It costs us 144 bureaucracy. This is fine. It'll reduce the penalties from states being in turmoil. And it says we've got a shortfall. That is fine. So they seem to be fighting in Qingdao. I don't really know what they are doing down here. And what are their war goals? It looks like the British will be... It looks like they are fully mobilizing all their conscripts. Yeah, I don't think we need to do much about this. We have unproductive trade routes. This is fine. And what more do we have? High tensions. Yeah, we know about this one. We have an import shortage of machines now. We are building... What do we have? What do we have that is using engines? How did we get a railway before? Oh, we must have inherited a railway here in Saxony. No? In Hesse? Nope. Where do we have a railway? Okay, someone's built the railway somewhere. But it's not in our territory. There we go. So Württemberg has built a railway, and they don't have any machines to run it. We will be getting those. Okay, so Saxe Coburg Gotha wants to join with us. They are, of course, most welcome into the fold. And how are we doing down here then? Minus 93. Yeah, that's 85 when the infamy has decayed down. And we don't have any kind of... we might need to... With 49 there. Now, what we could do with these also is absolve the obligation to gain it, and then we'll probably be able to get another, or we'll be able to get another obligation soon enough to bring them in. But we're not in a rush either, so... Yeah, they really don't want to be in here. Yeah, they view us as a threatening neighbor. And what happened here? Okay, so a revolution is brewing. And this isn't good. And they want to enact dedicated police force. And this, of course, will disempower the landowners. But on this revolution here, we end this episode. And we will take care of this in the next one. So, see you then. Goodbye.